Mr. Reschenthale.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate it. And of course, I associate my remarks with the ranking member. Chairman DeWitch, I just wanted to follow up on some questions that Dr. Burgess was asking you and just to get some clarification. You seem to indicate that you had hesitancy bringing this before ethics because you weren't sure what the results would be in the ethics committee. And again, I just want to get clarification.
No, it's never a consideration. That's never a consideration. The committee ultimately makes decisions. We vote like every other committee.
So, yeah, and this is not a gotcha question. I'm really trying to understand here. But when Dr. Burgess was saying that they're basically saying, why didn't this go to ethics first? My takeaway was there was uncertainty with how the procedure and the vote would turn out in ethics. That was my takeaway, but do you want to clarify?
Sure, I will clarify. Mr. Reschenthale, the moment that we heard that this was, that there was likely to be a Rules Committee hearing on this, I actually asked for an emergency meeting of the Ethics Committee so that we would have the opportunity to discuss it. As I said in my comments, there aren't factual questions here. The Ethics Committee ultimately can make recommendations, and as the chairman laid out, there are a good many reasons why moving forward with this resolution at this time is the appropriate thing to do. But I do want to be clear. I like to push back against the suggestion that the Ethics Committee has chosen to try to avoid this. I actually had asked that we could have an emergency meeting so that we could take this up in advance of even the Rules Committee hearing.
Yeah, Chairman. Again, this is not a gotcha question. I just wanted you to clarify. I
don't worry about that.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Whether you're trying to get me or not.
I know. Look, I got a lot of respect for you. We were on 2 committees together. We had legislation together. I just want you to know this is coming from a good place. Ranking Member Walorsky, do you want to?
Yeah, I just want to interject that there was literally no time. The Chair's counsel contacted our counsel as we found out we had to appear here tonight. So there was no time for an emergency meeting. There was no time for anything when we found out we had to be here at 5:45.
So I've just got some concerns because it seems like when we're not going through the ethics committee where the setting should be going through, we don't have the due process. We don't have, Representative Gosars clearly doesn't have the right to be heard. He doesn't have the right to put on a defense before the committee. That's unsettling to me. I guess it's maybe the law background. The due process, the lack of due process here just does not sit well with me. And I'm also worried about the larger precedent within this body. As Ranking Member Cole was suggesting, there could very well be a shift. And we have a precedent now where the majority can dictate which members of the minority party can sit on. That's a dangerous precedent. But if the door is open, it's frankly already been open with some of my other colleagues. It's a precedent that's been set, and I just want to note that. Ranking Member Walorsky, I just want to focus on Chairman Maxine Waters. In 2018, she said, and I quote, "If you see anybody from that cabinet," referring to the Trump cabinet, "in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd, and you push back on them, and you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere," end quote. Did Ethics Committee conduct an investigation into those remarks?
No.
Okay, what about at a 2017 gala when the chairwoman said, "I will go and take Trump out tonight"? Did the Ethics Committee do a public investigation of that?
No.
What about during the Chauvin trial when the chairwoman said, "We've got to stay on the street, we've got to get more active, we've got to get more confrontational, we've got to make sure that they know that we mean business"? By the way, those remarks were condemned by the judge, or the trial judge in that. Right. Also said it could even be grounds for an appeal. But did the Ethics Committee conduct an investigation of those remarks?
No.
Thank you, Ranking Member. With that, I yield back.
Yeah, thank you. And let me just say, again, the standard that I think we set by the previous action we took is that if you I don't know how you want to characterize that behavior, whether, being rude is different than, asking somebody to be rude is different than threatening somebody's life. In the case of the previous action we took in this committee, and in the case of what we're doing here today, I mean, it is about threatening another member's life. I mean, I'm having a tough time understanding why, why this is so difficult. I mean, this is so beyond the pale. He's a member of Congress, and he posted a video threatening the life of the President of the United States and a colleague of ours. His office made the video. I mean, they made the video. So, I mean, and if his behavior was bad enough to go to law enforcement, but yet it's somehow not bad enough for a censure or to deny him a committee assignment. I mean, I think we all have to. I mean, look, and I hope and I pray that my friends don't ever take, the majority of this institution. But if the standard is going to be that if any member threatens the life of another member, that this action will be taken, I can live with that. I'm fine with that. In fact, I don't understand why this is so controversial. But in any event, I think we just maybe have a different perspective on things.